God, you're father now.
So this video is a little different from my other videos. This is based off all my gaming consoles and games that I collected over the years. Some as a child, and some, of course, majority as an adult. So just showing you what I still have. Now you see right here we got the PlayStation 1. I had that when I was a teenager. The PlayStation 3, as an adult. PlayStation 2 as an older teenager. And the PS4 Uncharted, which all my stuff still new. The PSP, the first one when they came out. What you see, the Dreamcast, this is not my original Dreamcast. That's an aftermarket Super Nintendo. I don't really still have my original from that. That was stolen as a child. But the Dreamcast, I ended up buying that at a store called Playing Games. It was similar to like an EB GameStop. Cause mine's end up, it's a long story, that's another time. End up getting messed up due to my negligence. And I end up getting another one. Of course, I got the minis. The NES Classic Edition, the Super NES Mini, the Genesis, and the PSP. Like I told you, the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 4 came with the Uncharted, Thieves of End. And then you see another PlayStation 3 with the Beyond Gotham. That edition with the PlayStation 4. With Star Wars Battlefront. Them two systems are my son's on, including he got the PS5, which he most be gaming now on his PC. I'm gonna eventually sell them to. They still like brand new. Just showing I still had original boxes. And I got my Sega Saturn, which the total library for that and video games as far as North America was like 258 games they did. The whole library for North America. And then in Japan they did like 1,264, if I'm not mistaken. I'll post it somewhere in the link. But me mentioning that, I'm gonna show y'all all the games for all the systems I had. Cause somebody was doing like a game collection. Like a lot of stuff been in boxes throughout the years. I haven't played some of it in a while. I hadn't even got me. I meant to say I don't have a PS5 yet. A PS4 yet. But I'm gonna do all these in clips for showing, cause I see the big thing now, people be about the boxes. Like the box, the game, the manual book. And the only reason I still have some of that to the original stuff that you see here is because that's what I was storing it. But some of these games, especially like the minis, they in cases. I just showing that I still have the boxes. But them two over there in the corner with the Batman, edition Beyond Gotham and the Star Wars front. I'm gonna put that in the description below. I will be saying that you can reach out to me in my inbox. Just send to email if you got interest in that. And I'm also gonna post them on eBay. They will be saying be selling. He don't even play them. So I'm gonna show y'all the games that go to these consoles. Show y'all my collection, cause it's a lot. I'm gonna finish all the heavy hitters on this Saturn. Cause it seems like within the last recent years, the Sega Saturn has been very popular trying to collect some of the missing games because it didn't last long. When I got that Sega Saturn, I got it somewhere between between my birthday and Christmas, which that's early, that'd be in March. And then the end of Christmas, cause they discontinued the Sega Saturn in '98 of March 30th. That's crazy. But its lifespan lasts over from 94 all the way to, I think, 90, 98, 99. But that was in Japan. As far as North America, it only had probably like a 2.5-year span from 95 to like 98 of March. That's crazy on that. And also with the if any of y'all ever had a Dreamcast, that was a great system too. But it didn't last as long. It came out like 2000, and then it was discontinued in 2001. But Sega break your heart. I was a real Sega kid growing up. but I had to venture out to other platforms due to the fact like gaming must still could go on. So that's how I ended up getting the PS1, 2, 3, 4. I supposed to retire at the PS3, but you know, certain games came out and I got a lot of these systems due to the fact because of a particular game. But that's another story though. And also with the PSP for a particular game that they finally released on the PS4 after going through a couple generations of consoles, and that is medieval. But I'll explain some of that in each clip. But this video, like I said, this video is just based on those for gaming, who are collectors of mini systems, stuff they had. And at some point, you know, I might end up selling this stuff. Not the one, excuse me, not the one that got a sentimental more value to me. But the two ones that was my sons on, that 3 and that 4, yeah, them gonna be sold. Yeah, maybe that 5 too though. I'm gonna end up getting the newer style when they drop that 5 though. Here got all the games on my Sega Saturn. Let's do the walkthrough. Nights into Dreams, Astor, Scud, The Legend of Oasis, Gex, Sega Ages, Night Warriors, Guardian Heroes, Dark Savior, Pandemonium, Sega Rally, Dragon Force, Iron Man, XO, Man of War, and Heavy Metal. And then you got WWF in Your House, Deep Fear. They only released that in the UK and in Japan. Burning Rangers, Castlevania. That's a translated fan made. I meant to say it was never released in North America. My bad. It was never released on the Sega Saturn. Blazing Heroes, Clockwork Knight 2, In the Hunt, The House of the Dead, Die Hard Arcade, Resident Evil, Croc, Panzer Dragon Saga, Sega Saturn Bomberman, The Horde, Bug 2, Shinobi Legions, Herc's Adventure, 3 Dirty Dwarfs, Earth Roaring Gym, Batman Arcade, Spot, The Shining of the Holy Ark, Quake, Street Fighter Collection, Sonic Jam, Duke, and then that's another good game, Sega Sport, Loaded, they would say Batman Arcade, and then this right here is the battery looms. These ones you have to have for the Sega Saturn in the back of the game, so therefore it don't lose memory when you turn off the system. Some of the accessories I have, 2 of the original Sega Saturn controllers, the bootleg sampler that came with my Sega Saturn when I got it, aftermarket wireless controller. I told you I had all the X-Men, Children of the Atom, The Last Bronx, Marvel Superheroes, Live 98, Die Hard Trilogy, Impact Racing, Virtual Cop 2, Virtual Fighter 2, Virtual Cop 1, Daytona USA. And over here we have an Action Replay, which has Action Replay, 4M memory card, 4M expansion RAM card. And what that do is it can allow you to play all regional games from what the platform released in, and give you cheat codes. Now I had this other one, they call it Suikai, and this is like all-in-one. And what this one do, it's the same thing as the Action Replay, but different. This one allow you to play backup games. And I ordered this one off Amazon, or you can get off eBay. Everything you see in the red where it said yes, like RAMs, 4 MBs, 8 memory card, plus the other regions, Suikai, which allow you to play the backup games that. I also want to say the guy information I put, he said Suikai as well, all in one. Most people call reproduction games. In simple terms, that's a burnt game, burnt copy of the original, which I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the only way I'm able to play them games is only if I have this in my Sega Saturn. You gotta have this to play the backup games, or you won't be able to play them. It's a guy, and I'm gonna put on the screen somewhere as far as all his sites where you can order from. The first time I bought the game was off with the Castlevania off eBay, and on his personal site that he said, because he out of Canada, he'll have exclusive games to Sega Saturn and the Sega CD, and he the true fan, burning the original manual books, putting a display on the disc, and he legit. At first I was skeptical, but when I talked to him, he was able to make it happen. Been business ever since, because trying to get. Side note, I suggest always pay through PayPal. It's easy, quick, getting your money back, just like eBay guarantee. Get some of these games right here off the they highly demand, and they very expensive. Like if you go off eBay or if you go off Amazon, anywhere that sell them, they sell them at a very high price. And that'd be the route I would suggest to go with, as far as if you want some of the more demanding games for a reasonable price. Because these games are not cheap at all, and they very expensive. And the Sega Saturn started to become very high demand and popular in the later 2000s, man. That is crazy. But very classical, all them classic games. You check out, this is all my games to the system. And I still have more. I'm finished the total library of the Sega Saturn, which is a 258, but I'm just gonna get the major hitter games, which ain't gonna be the whole 200, probably be like 70 the most. All the major games that was considered classic RPG games, adventure games, fun games to play, that if you didn't have a chance to play some of these games as a kid or remember playing the kid and don't have it no more, the number that the information I put up on the guide for all his sites where you can buy from, check him out on that. And then some of the other stuff you can just try to find off eBay and try to bid for it, or if someone make an offer, that'd be the route to go. The next time when I do a review, I had to come all the major games that need to be, but I still ain't finished. But that's all I got on my Sega Saturn, man. If y'all got any games, you know what I'm saying, that you want to talk about, I'll tell you, man. I put a lot of his information in the description below. Man, y'all holla at me. That's all I got for the Sega Saturn. It was all my games to all different consoles. So these are all the games I have on the Dreamcast. So we're gonna go over them. 2 controllers, the original controller, which is the white one. Blue bought that. Bought another controller, never used that. Alone in the Dark. That's a pretty good little spooky game. I need to come back and finish that. Of course, the Well 2.0 that we came with the Dreamcast, as far as they was doing they online link game playing, except it wasn't wireless then. It's a lot better now. A whole lot better. Sonic Adventure 2, which I gotta still get the first one. The sport games was big back then. NFL 2K, Crazy Taxi, 2 memory cards, phone jack, demo game, that went hard. Of course, Rainbow Six. It was similar to like Call of Duty back then, similar. Of course, another 2K Sports. Dead or Alive 2, Carry, that was a pretty good little hard game. Trying like similar to like Resident Evil, but not Resident Evil. 2K, Evil Dead, but I'm big on that series. You'll see as the collection go on. Hail to the King. House of the Dead 2, which I'm a big fan of the original one, but the second one was just as good. It's better at the arcade as far as House of the Dead. NCAA, what you see Drew Brees was playing for Purdue. I love that little sport game. Little bite, Suzuki. Hey, y'all was the man when it came to the Sega Dreamcast. Soul Calibur, again, another fighting game. You see Spawn, that was good. Marvel Capcom fighting game classic. Sega Bash Fishing, that was good. Code Veronica, Resident Evil, I love it. Crazy or not, this virtual tennis game went hard. When I tell you, it brought all kind of people that want to come and play, especially like I was in BJC. That was Jocko. Everybody played. It was real fun to play though. Zombie Revenge, that was good. Power Stone 2, which that was a good thing about the Dreamcast. You was able to play burnt games. It wasn't all encrypted like the Sega Saturn, as complex, but Dreamcast was a very great system for the 132 bits. And then there's a very good story adventure game, Shenmue. If anyone of y'all know about that, that's a real good game. It came with a 3 disc. They made 2 other more. Finally took 23 years before they made the Shenmue 3. They released on the PlayStation 4, which that was ass, and the second one was ass, which was released on the Xbox. Cause like I told you, Sega Dreamcast discontinued within a year and a half of its run. Great system. But I ain't gonna bore y'all with them stories. But that's all of the games and accessories that I had with my Dreamcast. So if you got a collection that you've been keeping for years, hey man, put it in the box in the subscription below. Let me see what you got. If there's anything else y'all want to see me with, for sure. This just for the Dreamcast, so we're gonna move on to the next system. So we don't move on to the PlayStation 1 games and accessories that end up getting throughout the year, especially when as a teenager. So let's look at what we got here. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I got a story on how I got into Resident Evil. That's crazy, but it won't be in this blog. X-Men vs. Street Fighter, which I had all of them. Marvel Superhero vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, and I had Marvel Superhero on the Sega Saturn. That's a different platform. We'll move on there later. Nightmares Creatures 2. Now you will see some of the gameplays that I like to play, mostly single player games, action, adventure. You'll definitely see me with the Resident Evil. You'll see me with Metal Gear. You'll see, of course, the fighting games with Marvel, Silent Hills, Tenchu, Ninja games. So we're gonna keep moving on. But it's a lot of games that I really enjoy playing. Let's go back to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Nemesis 3 is a classic. I think that was one of the best Resident Evil games. Actually, that's the first Resident Evil game I actually got a chance to truly play. But the first Resident Evil game I did play back at the time, it was a little slow for me. I didn't really understand was the Resident Evil 1. Actually, we're gonna go to that platform on the Sega Saturn. It's a story behind that. But Resident 3 Nemesis is one of the actual true games I actually got a chance to play through my cousin Jonathan. He turned me on that in Dragon Ball Z. That's how I got on that. But it was actually the real VHS taste then, and they was in Japanese before it came to Cartoon Network in the early 2000s. But moving on, that's better than the remake that they brought on to the PS4 and all the other platforms. I feel like they rushed that. The Resident Evil 2 is a classic. I like the remake better. That's on the PlayStation 4 and all the other platforms. I think they did a real great job with that. So we got all the way to Nightmares Creatures, Resident Evil 2, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Crazy thing is, like I said, didn't get into the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z until like the 2000 when it finally released to North America as far as the anime. which Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT go way back since the 80s, but it was in Japan, and that was a famous anime and became very popular across the world. So, backslash on that. Iron Man and EXO, Man of War, and Heavy Metal. I came across this game due to my cousin, Tonio. He put me on this. It wasn't his game, it was one of his partner's game, and it was pretty decent little game. I liked it. I actually got this game twice, and I explained to you on how I got the second one on another platform. So we got a Cypher filter. It was supposed to be similar to just Metal Gear, cause that type of same kind of gameplay, but of course Metal Gear is Metal Gear, and that gonna outdo that. But Cypher filter is a good series and games they had, and a good game to play. Of course you gotta have Tekken. Tekken 3 was a classic. Silent Hill, the very first one. So I told you I was into very horror, spooky games. And definitely was similar to the Resident Evil, but not the same up-tempo, but that's a classic. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reason. Crazy thing about this game is the name. That's really where I got my son's first name from, except we just added with the E. Added with the I. Was his mom, I was spelling Kaine, but that's why I named my son from a game. It was different. I ain't know nobody named a Kane at the time. Didn't even pay attention back in the day. Minister Society, his name was Kane. But anyway, a little backslash on that. Spawn. Oh man, I love Spawn. The Internal. That was a pretty decent little game. I had the original one that was released. As you can see, this one was a brand new one I had got, because the one I originally had picked up at a pawn shop ended up breaking somehow, accident. And then moving on from that game to Blasto. I still got my original Blasto game. I ended up buying it because it had a whole complete jewel set in the booklet, which I ain't never had, and I got it for a good price. It was probably like $7 off eBay. And Ninja, Shadow of Darkness. Pretty decent game. I love ninja games. That's definitely one of my things. I think just the whole storyline behind it. Not just this particular game, but just in some of the ninja games, period. Tenchu 2, Birth of, can't even see it. But that's a definitely classic game. I like the first one better, and then I love the one that they did on PlayStation 2, which we'll get to that later when we get to a different platform. Cyber Filter 2, X-Men Mutant Academy 2, Spider-Man, Twisted Metal. You gotta have Twisted Metal if you're gonna do this with Sony. Sony mascot was Bangkok, with the little fox looking character, and Twisted Metal, and it's actually made by Sony. That is one of their products. Anytime you see that, that's a game that's made by Sony itself. And to go back, third party, but Sony had a big role. This is definitely one of the games too. Blasto, the more back to Blasto. Blasto is a good little play-through action adventure game. In my opinion, I think it's a cult classic. It was slept on, and there's another classic game that I feel Sony had made, and you will see that going into this book we getting ready to enter. Some of the original controllers on the PlayStation 5 from 1995, joystick that they did in 98, a memory card. Then there go the classic, Metal Gear Solid. One of the first ones. If you know anything about Area 51, it's a classic. Don't have the book cover, which is I'm gonna eventually try to find and get off eBay. But I pretty much got all the games on the PS1, especially on I get into it when it comes to, I can just say now, with the PlayStation 1, the mini, I had these things that called I'll put that in another clip. Bring that back. Hold on. I don't know, my phone ended up dying on me. I don't know why I did it. But like I was explaining about this Game Shop Pro, what this actually do, what you see I got in the platform for like Take Night, when you had bought it, it came with the device that goes in the back of the PlayStation 1. It came with a VHS controller, a VHS cassette, and cover to explain about all the features on it. But what it do is it's a cheat code. We have all the games, and if you wasn't able to have all the games, it was a trick book they called Tips and Trick Game Book that also was able to allow you to program in the newer code, cheat codes on this here, and it had like other little features, but it really in the server is a memory card too. So it eliminate having this, like which one a lot of memory. But on here, they have a whole lot of memory you can save games on. Okay, moving to the game book. Some of the games I had bought from the pawn shop came across. Gets Enter the Gecko. That was pretty straight. Told you I had that original Spawn game. Got that from the pawn shop as well. But the disc ended up breaking. I just kept it because the design of the cover looked pretty cool. And then Tension, Stealth of Assassin. Man, this junk is a classic. I ain't gonna tell you how I got that game though. Bad. Nightmare's Creature, another cult classic horror game, similar to like Resident Evil and the Silent Hills. And I enjoyed it. I think that's a cult classic, and it was pretty much slept on. And then Nightmare's Creature was the last one they did pretty good. Medieval adventure action gameplay made by Sony. Oh man, I love that game. It took them years to release it on another one of the Sony platform, which that's how I ended up getting the PSP because they called it Medieval Resurrection, but it was the same game as the Medieval. They did 2 games on the PlayStation 1 and 2, which I have also. It ain't as good to me as the 1, but when you look in game magazines, I guess they had that one up was better, but not in my opinion. This was a classic by Sony. Mortal Kombat 4, Blaster again. I told you I had the original one, but I didn't have the whole set. Never had a book, and I just bought it as it was out the pawn shop. Bought that out the store. NFL Blitz. This was my cousin homeboy game, and just been stuck with it ever since. Ain't never get a chance to give it back. Another demo, Pizza Hut demo CD. It was pretty fun to play. Let's see. And they got the Medieval 2 that I was telling you about. The crazy thing is, out of I'm show you anything. A couple of book covers. That was the original book cover to the Spawn Eternal. It like had some kind of gloss on it. It looked real. It looked fire. So that's all the game for the PlayStation 1. And then for the PlayStation Mini, you can always check out on Amazon what I had showed you. If you can still find them, but they have another one that I think substituted that. But as far as all these games here, and from all the platforms show you, they cost a lot of money now. Like, if I was to sell some of these games, I can get paid a lot. Like, you look online what the market price go for this Silent Hill, easily buy over $100 and $200 to sell. And then as far as all these Marvel, these Street Fighter games, easy another $200 to $300 or better, based on condition. And 2 of them is darn near like brand new. Majority of all my games, except for the ones that I had bought from the pawn shop, of course they had scratches and a little damage. Trying not to make these videos long, but I see it's gonna be kind of long though. Right on to the next platform. The next console. So, for the PlayStation 2 games, this is what we have. Alright, let's get into it. Devil May Cry 3. With Dante Awakening Special Edition. With him and his twin brother. Devil May Cry 2. Devil May Cry 1. Metal Gear Solid 3. The Suffering, which that was pretty good, another hard game. Evil Dead, Fistful of Boomstick. Sonic's Collection, of course, you know all the Sonic kids, so when I know you see it on Sony, and Sega ended up selling some of their rights to the games to let it be played on other platforms since they no longer was a household console building. Check the history out behind that. Metal Gear Solid 2. Silent Hill 2. I need to finish that. That's a game I have not finished. Of course, you see a memory card right there. Street Ball. That was fun. Big on Mortal Kombat. I told you that was a thing, especially from the early 90s, 1990, when they first released the first Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, Shaolin Monk, they made that adventure action single player game. That was hard. I'd love to see them remaster or remake that and bring it to the platform. Spawn, the Armagani. Old Ben from Detroit, defensive player on a 2K. So Sega sold a lot of their rights to their games too. Another, you know what I'm saying, Evil Dead Regeneration. I never played that. I just not too long got that one in the collection. Shinobi, that went hard. Tension, Wrath of Heaven, go hard. Madden, see Michael Vick on the cover. NCA, Spider-Man. This is another great game that Sony made. That's their game. God of War. Anybody know about God of War? Sony made it. That is their game for their system. That made only on Sony. Castlevania. Oh man, I enjoyed that game. The Curse of Darkness. When they brought them on the PS2 platform, I love them, man. Castlevania again. What that is? Lamont of Innocence. That go hard, man. I enjoyed all them games. Max Payne, of course, again, God of War 2, which I have all the God of War. Go ham. So that's all the games for the PlayStation 2. Kind of moved through it kind of fast because the video getting kind of longer than I expected. And some of the classics, man, they've been stuck in box for years. Moving on to the next one. The games to the PlayStation 3. Let's get into it. Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection 2, 3, and Metal Gear Peacemaker. Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3, God of War Ascension, God of War 3, God of War 1 and 2. You know I had these games on the 2. I just enjoyed playing, so I got them again. The Batman Arkham Origin. That game go hard. Batman Arkham City. Batman Arkham Asylum. Mortal Kombat. The complete edition with, Freddy. And it got another special character on there. Devil May Cry 4. Assassin's Creed, the first one. Castlevania 2, Lord of Shadows, Castlevania, Lord of Shadows, the first one. Resident Evil 6, that was trash. Resident Evil 5, you can start getting weak. Mortal Kombat versus DC. Marvel versus Capcom 3. Fate of the Two Worlds, another good game. Asaurus, Wrath. Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, Street Fighter 5, Dante Inferno, man, that was a classic game. Deadpool. And that's it for the PlayStation 3 games. So we at the PlayStation 4 games. Let's go through it. And one PlayStation 5, which I just ain't went and got yet. But when I do get my system, it will be this game right here, A Plague. That's a pretty interesting game. Follow all the way back to this one, A Plague Tale of Innocence. So this is usually how most of the time I get my systems based off a particular game. Cause like I told you before, I put been retired at a 3. Really ain't had no interest in getting 5. But this game keeping me locked in. There's some other stuff that I want to also get as well coming to the PlayStation platform. We'll go through the games. Devil May Cry, which I love about Devil May Cry, but this right here was trash. Black Ops 3, classic. Resident Evil remake, I like that. They did a whole complete remake of the House of the Dead. As you can see, limited edition. I was lucky to catch that. I'm happy they did do that. But the crazy thing, they had to redo that whole game from scratch because they didn't have the original release from Sega. Somehow it got lost. Street of Rage 4. Still haven't played it yet. Still in this pack. Sunrise Shadow. I still haven't played that yet. It's still in this pack. Days Gone. Oh man, that's a good game. The Evil Within. The creator of the original Resident Evil 1, 2, and directed on 3. This their game. You should check them out on Tango Gameworks. The Ghost of Tsushima Special Edition. That's a classic, man. Sekiro, Shadow of Die Twice. Man, that game go hard. Probably one of the best ninja games I don't ever play. Of course, you know my God of War, Ragnarok. Then the other one, God of War. They did it different with this mythology of Vikings and with him having a son. Vampire. I like it. That go hard. Resident Evil 2, the remake, better than the original on the PlayStation 1. I cannot hold you. Of course, again, you seen this on the GameCube, but due to the fact that I was wanting to play and I had to keep trying to jump consoles, I got it again, just like any other platform. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I gotta finish that. The Last of Us Remastered, good. Medieval, what I tell you, once again, it took them almost 3 generation consoles to bring it to the PS4. And as you see the sign, only on the PlayStation. That's how you know that Sony's on. They remade a lot of stuff, nothing cheat codes from the PlayStation 1 and up, but pretty much the same game, just remade. They remade that game. We did that, Red Redemption. It's a good game, never got a chance to finish it. Kind of lost interest. A Plague Tale. Batman. Arkham Knight. I think they're gonna do just one more. That's gonna be released on the 5, but it's not gonna be starting Batman lead character. The Last of Us Part 2. It was alright. Ragnarok. Y'all pretty straight little ninja game. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy 3, games 1. Shamu 1 and 2, which you know, you can't go wrong with the first one. The second one was trash. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I told y'all, it was one of my best Resident Evil games ever, and besides the Code Veronica, but when they did a remake on here, I feel like they rushed it, so it's kind of trash. Evil Within 2, I ain't like the first one. The first one goes so hard, kind of disappointment. If I probably would play this first, probably would have been alright. But due to the fact the first one was so good, I kind of say trash. Shamu 3 took 24 years for they to finally release that. Trash. Uncharted 4 Thieves of End, I never got a chance to play, but it came with the system when I bought my PS4. And Batman's series, it's still in this plastic, I ain't never played it. So between all the games that I have no interest ever playing again, 1, 2, 3, definitely never play that junk again. Don't care to play it. That's about it though. And then, like I said, when I do get my PS5, whenever I decide to want to get it, that will be the first game I play. So that's pretty much it for the PlayStation 4. And we're going to continue on the next blog. So it was a console I did forget to put in there with all the consoles together. And that was the GameCube. Nintendo GameCube was a great console that Nintendo made. I ain't even gonna hold it. That's a good system. All the accessories I had, the extra controller, the original controller's in the box. Got a memory card. Some of the games I had on here, I did this one because it was the shortest amount of games I had on the platform. that I had on the console. Splinter Cell was supposed to be similar to Metal Gear Solid. It's a pretty good game. And that was for the Nintendo. They had did their own one with Ubisoft. Resident Evil Code Veronica again. You might see it on a couple platforms. At the time, I told my original Dreamcast, which I didn't have in here because I don't know longer, because I ended up messing it up. And didn't know how to repair it at the time because, Sega had discontinued the Dreamcast. But anyway, got this on the GameCube. Resident Evil 4. Pure Evil 2-pack, Resident Evil, the remake, and Resident Evil 0 that goes further in depth to what Resident Evil was. That was the whole reason why I ended up getting a GameCube, due to the fact that Resident Evil, they only released that at the time, only for Nintendo GameCube only. As you can see to the top, it's only for the Nintendo GameCube. It was the exclusive. Man, that was a classic. And I'm gonna do a couple of other games on the PSP, since that was some of the not as many games I had on that platform as well. You see, I had Ghosts of Goblins, Metal Gear Solid, Peace Walker, Castlevania, Dracula X, which you gonna see on the Sega Saturn, which called same thing, but it was only released in Japan, as far as not released on Sega Saturn, but it was released in North America on the PlayStation 1. Power Stone Collection, Guilty Gear Judgment, Darkstalker, and Medieval Resurrection, which you heard me talk about. That was the only reason why I ended up ever getting a PSP, because of that game right there alone. So that's it for the. Oh yeah, and I also have Grand Theft Auto on the PSP as well. Shoot, I just gotta go try to find it. Probably in KDD box. As far as the games that had the short amount of games for that system. And what I do want to add to this GameCube, which I'm not focused on that, I'm focused on finishing the Sega Saturn. Major hit games on there, and it's kind of like a hobby. We'll get on that in a minute. But I want the Luigi Mansion and Super Mario Sunshine. You got to have, man, the mouse scraps for the systems. I ain't gonna hold you. But GameCube was a great system though. That was one that I did miss. I had found in the box. Think of some of the games I have on the Super NES and the Nintendo. Punch-Out, Killer Instinct, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Mortal Kombat 2, Shaq Fu, Dunkhead and Mario Brothers. That was a classic on the Nintendo. Then we had Manhattan, Mutant Ninja Turtles, 3. Of course, the first Mortal Kombat, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Spawn, Hulk. And back then, the fighting games was everything. See, boy, I killing with that Mortal Kombat. Killer Instinct was a true classic, a gem that didn't find out until like the end. Going to the arcades, and especially when they hit the platforms, it was always Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, which you don't see here. But that's part of the games I have on the Super Nintendo and Super NES. Classics.